a fundamental quantity, we have a derived quantity. As the name indicates, derived. When you say something is derived, that means it's obtained from something else. So a derived quantity is obtained from a fundamental quantity, and maybe two or more fundamental quantity, or just one fundamental quantity, giving rise to that derived quantity. And the derived quantity that is obtained from fundamental quantity may be obtained either by an operation of division, or that of multiplication, or that of combination of multiplication and division. By the time we begin to look at examples of this, we will get it better. But have it in mind that we have measurable quantities, and these are referred to as physical quantities, and they are in two divisions. One fundamental, the other one is derived. We call it fundamental because it's the basic, it's the starting point. There is nothing before it, but there are many things after it. So these are the various ways of understanding what we mean by fundamental quantity. And when we say derived, it's obtained from something. And that's other thing that is obtained from will be a fundamental quantity or more than one fundamental quantity. And it will lean on them by operation of multiplication, or it may lean on them by operation of division, or combination of the two. When we take example, you will see this better. Now, in reality, we have 7 fundamental quantities. 7 identified fundamental quantities. And what are these? Mass, time, length, electric current, amount of substance, and luminous intensity. We are saying that a mass is a basic quantity. The definition of mass does not depend on any other prior definition. It's self-sufficient. And when you are also talking about its unit, you will realize that its unit is also on its own. It's standing alone. Its unit is not a function of multiplication of many other units, or more than one other unit, or division of other units. It's just alone. Then the time is also another fundamental quantity or basic quantity. And it has its own unit of measurement. We are going to talk about this very shortly. Length is another fundamental quantity. From length, you can get some other definition, but length cannot be obtained from something else. It's on its own. Then temperature is another fundamental quantity. Electric current. You see, some individual will want to put in place of electric current, electric charge. Some see electric charges as more fundamental than electric current. It's a bit a controversial thing. But it's better you have it in mind that electric current is taken as a fundamental unit instead of electric charge, because of the fact that it is easy to measure. That is one of the reasons why preference is given to electric current. Why electric current is given the day in lieu of electric charge. You see, if you are defining electric current, you will define electric current as a charge flow per second, or the amount of charge that is flowing. The amount of charge that is flowing. Meaning that definition of current suggests that it leans on a charge. But strangely, electric current is taken as a fundamental quantity, and not let me take the call of the individual who want to link us with the YouTube, so that those who are out of the transmission can be in. Yes, Mr. Sheye. Hello? Hello? Any? Where do you send it to? To my phone. My WhatsApp. I will try if I can link my WhatsApp from this transmission now. Okay. Thank you. Aha, that may be fantastic. I appreciate that, because I may not be able to link with my WhatsApp now. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. So the IT person said he's going to put the link to the YouTube connection in the chat box. So if you know of somebody who is not here, who should be here, you can kindly send him or her the link you are going to see in the chat box so that the person can use that to join the YouTube connection to this transmission. So let's continue. So I mentioned that it is controversial. Some individuals believe that we should not have electric current listed as fundamental quantity. But instead of it, we should have the charges. And to some extent, they have their reason, and they are correct in a way, because when you are defining current, you define current in terms of electric charge. But I said it's enough, possibly because of the fact that it is much easier to measure current than to measure charges. And that is why, one of the reasons why electric current is given, is listed as a fundamental quantity and not electric charge. The another quantity that is fundamental is the amount of substance. Amount of substance. The last one on the list is a luminous intensity. So these are the 7 basic fundamental quantities. We have Musa raising her piece, and let me see if I can take it. Musa, what is the matter? Or Mut, what was the matter?
So, sorry, thank you. I wanted to ask, so if we were asked in multiple choice and they kept current and they kept electric charge and they asked us for which one we should pick as fundamental, would we pick current?
Okay, thank you for this question, but this question shouldn't have been asked at this time. If I want you to ask question, I will ask you to do that. You have just interrupted my transmission, but that sin is forgiven. Now let me ask other students who will want to provide an answer to the question he has asked, because I think in my presentation the answer was obvious. Who is going to assist our friend Musa? Okay, I can see 2 hands. Let me ask Patrick. Kindly be of help to your brother. Mute, Patrick. Patrick. Patrick, I give you the attention. Is Patrick there again? Oh, okay, let me turn to somebody else. Obunaya, can you respond to the query of Musa? Obunaya, or Mute? Obunaya, or Mute?
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.
Go ahead, go ahead. I have just an hour. 20-something minutes is gone. Go ahead, respond.
Electric current, sir. Electric current.
Electric current, thank you. Thank you. So I think that's clear as that. Before I stop the transmission today, I may give you some time to ask questions. And if I don't give you the opportunity of asking questions today, then I will ask you to send me your question and we can handle them later. So let's continue with transmission. I have mentioned that it's part of the rule of this engagement that your video should not be on at this time. Many of you must have read it. If you have not read it on the course page, it's part of the rules. The golden rule of this engagement. Your video should be off. We don't need to know the background of where you are. Observe that you are violating that. I will throw you out of this class, and that will be all for the day. Okay, I think you can hear me clearly. Post history, I think you can hear me clearly. If you don't apply with that, I will throw you out of this class, and that is all. You meet us next week. Simple. Came up. So I will continue with my slide. So we have listed the 7 fundamental quantities. So the next thing now is to look other quantities that couldn't make that list, as as I've earlier mentioned. They are then referred to as derived quantity. Any other quantity that is not part of the fundamental is a derived quantity. You can then look at the screen and see a number of them. There are so many. We cannot list them all. You can see listed here is volume. We also have another one that is density. We have specific heat, current. You can add to the list. Well, let us look at 2 or 3 of them and ask ourselves, why are they listed as a derived and not fundamental? Why is volume listed as a derived and not fundamental? Why is density, derived quantity, not listed as fundamental? What makes force unqualified to be grouped among the fundamental quantity? And what is it that energy lacks or that is having that screen it out from the list of fundamental? Let's look at that one after the other. Let's take number 1, volume. If you look at a volume, by definition, volume is not length in 3 places. You use length to multiply length to multiply volume. We say volume is mentioned this by dimension of a thing later, but volume is length used to multiply itself 3 times. And if I can quickly mention now, maybe you will remember that when you are expressing the unit of measurement of volume, it's always going to be something raised to power 3, because it is one quantity you have used to multiply itself 3 times. And that quantity you have used to multiply itself 3 times is length. So you have length times length times length, and that gives you volume. So, but what is length? You recall that length was listed among the 7 fundamental. So we can then say volume definition cannot be obtained except we know length. Volume depends on Mr. Length. Volume leans on length. If there is no length, there is no volume. But length can exist without volume, so to speak. So volume is length in 3 dimensions. Length times length times length. So because the volume is obtained from fundamental, that is why volume will not make the list of fundamental, but it's better referred to or is taken as a derived quantity. And so we have listed our friend volume as a derived quantity. Let's move to the next one, density. Of course, there are different definitions of density. Maybe the only definition of density you know is the volume density, and that is mass over volume. That may be the only one you know, but there are other definitions of density. There is area density as well. But let us limit ourselves to the volume density. That is a mass over volume. Do you see what I've just said mathematically as definition of density? Mass divided by volume. The numerator of that division is mass. Mass is one of the fundamental. Note that. Then we say fraction is volume. Volume we have just mentioned is derived from length. Volume is length times length times length. So you can now see that density is obtained from definitions of derived quantity length and derived quantity mass, and the operation that join the two of them together is that of division. You use a fundamental quantity length, you divide it with a fundamental quantity obtained from volume, which is length. So you have mass over volume. So you have the derived quantity obtained from mass as a fundamental quantity divided by volume obtained from length in 3 dimensions. So that is why what we mean by the other time when we say that derived quantity are obtained from fundamental quantity by way of operation, division, or multiplication. You can obtain the definition of a derived quantity either by just combining one fundamental quantity with operation of multiplication, or you combine it with operation of multiplication and division, or by just division. It depends on what obtained from definition of multiplication alone. Length times length times length. Density is obtained from operation, multiplication, and division. Division, mass divided by volume. But the volume at the denominator contain three multiplication, length times length times length. So that is density for you. So density is a derived quantity because it's obtained from a fundamental quantity. Maybe
Hello, please. I haven't seen him in the waiting room. That's why I've not accepted him.
If he comes to the waiting room, we'll accept him. He has not yet come back.
Guys, I think it's just his network because he's still one of the participants. He's just not talking. He's muted.
Hello, students. I was off transmission because of the network. Now, there is somebody else now who is the host. The fellow should pass the baton back to me because I have to use my video. All right, thanks so much. We are back into the business. That is one of the things that show that we are still trying to make it what it should be. We are sorry that I was cut off by the transmission. Let me go back to my slide. So I have mentioned to you wide volume, density, and force, why they couldn't make the list of fundamental quantity, but they are derived quantity. If you look at energy definition, you can as well see the reason why it's not also qualified. Every other thing we have listed here, they are not qualified because their definition depends on the definition of why are some people disturbing our peace now? All right. So listed as I did, can you give me the battery so that I can use the video? Well, I must apologize on behalf of myself that my network is not favorable to me, but in the religious parlance, you will say the devil is a liar. And I think you agree with me, he's a liar. We will continue to do whatever we can do. And even when I am not able to get to where I want to be today, I will still pick it from where I stop. So bear with me. It's not in my character. It's just the network, and there's nothing I can do when it is beyond me. Well, maybe I should pause at this point. Ordinarily, I would have loved to have more, but the transmission is not favorable to me, so that we can use some time to entertain some questions. I have not covered what I want to give to you today, but let us not lose our sleep because of that, because we are in a good business together. So if you want to talk to me, raise up your hand and let me hear you. Who want to talk to me? Okay, there is a Omolaye John. John, yes? Omut, talk to me.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
If you're opening the forum later today, please, what are we using it to do? Is it like to submit the assignment, or we're using it to share thoughts? Because I'm hearing different things.
Can you move closer to the speaker?
I said that if
Okay,
you
I
are
can hear
opening
you
the
well.
forum, are you hearing me now?
Yes. Yes, yes.
I said that if you are opening the forum later today, that is it like for the assignment that you posted part of with those slides, or you are just opening it up for us to share thoughts, or what?
Okay. Well, I will answer you, but it appears you have not read a number of things I have on that page. What forum is, there is a video or so on that page that introduced to forum. It's a discussion. A question has been posted there. The teacher wants your reaction. And you cannot see somebody's reaction until you have also reacted. And I think I even confine you to how many sentences or words you need to use so that you will not spend the whole of the day responding to it. So if you go back to the page, 10 minutes after this class, I will open it again for those who have not attended to it. But let me tell you, deadline has to be observed. So it isn't a matter of once the deadline has not been met, so you will give them chance again. No, 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 no. But I just want to say you are welcome to UI. So I want to welcome you. I don't want you to start frowning your face right from the day one. That is why I'm going to reopen it and close it, God's willing, 11:59 p.m. today. I think I have responded to your query, Mr. Amalayi.
Okay, sir.
Let
Thanks,
me
sir.
take another one. Asa Oluwaseun. Asa Oluwaseun Omut. Asa Oluwaseun. Asa Oluwaseun. Asa Oluwaseun Omut. Okay, let's go to somebody else. Victor Nwashuku. Omut. Victor Omut.
Good afternoon, sir. And sir, please,
Good afternoon.
I wanted to ask about the assignment that we saw on that
Yes.
slide. How are we supposed to submit it if we have attempted it? How are we supposed to submit it? Because some of us have answered them, but we don't know how to share it with you.
Which assignment?
The one when you opened your slide, there was one assignment that showed there.
Okay.
Or
What did
let's
I
see
ask you
the
to
one
do?
of last year I saw.
What did I ask you to do in the assignment?
It was on dimensional analysis, yes.
And what did I say?
I really don't know, sir.
Okay,
My
maybe I
network
should
was
use
bad.
this. Don't worry, don't worry. I think there is something that comes to mind now. I must tell you about it. I think some people are parading themselves as teachers. I observed that they have entered my course PHY 102. I wanted to use it today to stream this interaction. I couldn't enter. I said 4 days ago it was changed. If anybody asks you to talk to him or is talking to you anything on physics, and it is not myself and my other colleague, Mr. Yola, I am Professor Awe. If the person is not Mr. Yola, who is to take you PHY 103, and it's not myself, Professor Awe, taking 101, there is no longer any 102 in the curriculum. So those individuals are not known to us. Don't be victim of that. So if anybody is talking to you outside the lecturers you are seeing now, if it's not Ayola and it's not me, please, the person is unknown to physics.
Okay, sir.
So I can't remember giving you assignment today. I've only asked for your participation in the discussion forum, which I have closed, and the deficiency of a number of us who are still warming up, who are yet to get integrated into what is happening in the university, and we want to welcome them. Yes. Kesa, Sarah, Omut. Kesa, Sarah, talk to us.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead.
I
Go
want
ahead.
to ask about the assignment under the lecture notes.
What
The
did
assignment
I
under the
ask
lecture
you
notes.
to do?
You asked us to do you asked us that we should find the dimension and SI units
Don't
of
worry.
viscosity, and you
Maybe
gave us three.
I think I remember there is an assignment under that as well. Don't worry, I will give you more information about that assignment either later today or before Sunday. I will go back to it and do something about it. Thank you. I think this is we still have 10 more minutes. Let me take 2 more questions before doing something else. I think I can still give you some information on the quantity, unit, and dimension before today. It's just because my network is not, that's why I decided to take your question. Ogundiran Omut. Ogundiya Aduragbe ni Omut. Ogundiya. Okay, let us give it to Adebori Omokore. Oh, Omokore. I'm sorry if I have not pronounced it correctly.
Good afternoon, sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask about the forum you said you had. Like, is the slide you shared your screen to teach us today, was that the content of the forum? Because I saw something on my LMS site.
Yes, the question in the forum is on dimension. It's on in physical quantity, rather. It's on physical quantity. I think it's asking you negative mass and negative time. Is it possible or something like that? So go back to it.
Okay,
Because it has been logged. I'm going to open it after the class today.
okay, sir. All right,
It's
sir.
been logged, but I'm going to open it and close it and lock it again at 11:59.
Oh, okay, sir.
That's all.
All right,
I
thank you, sir.
think essential question has been taken. Let us move on. We can still use another 5 minutes to do beautiful things. Okay, so unit of quantity. It should be unit of quantities. Either we write about sorry, my network is fluctuating, but I'm back. Now, what do we mean by the idea of unit of a quantity? We mentioned some 20 or 30 minutes ago that a quantity we want to measure. There are two things about that quantity that is of interest. And that is the size of that quantity, the magnitude that you have measured. The second thing about it is the unit, that is the reference point. So that with that reference point, one can quantify if a student should say he or she has 2 in his pocket. 2 in his pocket. Somebody who is curious will be asking, 2 what? 2 what? Giving you information like that, 2 in my pocket, has not given sufficient information. The individual has measured the reference point of that 2. 2 what? 2 pieces of stone, 2 pieces of granite. What is it? So you have to mention something outside the magnitude. What you are adding to it is the unit, is the reference point. So if somebody now say he has $2 in his or her pocket, that dollar is the unit of naira or cedis or cibas, whatever it is, mentioning that, including that in the information of the amount, give sufficient information and allow whoever is listening to have a good understanding of what he or she is communicating. So if I say 2 naira, so you can understand, oh, 2 naira, you know the worth of naira, then I have completely defined what I have in mind. So by unit, we are looking at the scale from which that measurement is made. So each of the quantity that we measure as is a unit of measurement. A fundamental quantity, we have a fundamental unit. A derived quantity, we have a derived unit. And the next thing we should see on our slide is what are these fundamental quantity units. I'm going to show you before I start the transmission. The fundamental units for length. Length is a fundamental quantity, so it has a fundamental unit, is meter. The fundamental unit of a mass is kilogram. That of time is seconds. That of temperature is Kelvin. That of amount of substance is mole. Fundamental unit for electric current is ampere. That of luminous intensity is candela. So these are the basic units. The next slide you are going to likely see will be telling you about other existing units. They will not be able to talk about that today. I have just less than 5 minutes to leave you alone. But God's willing, I have just stopped on slides interaction with you. Once again, you are welcome to University of Ibadan. And before I completely draw the curtain, let us go back to the chat box and express how we feel about this first lecture in nothing more than one word. Use it to summarize your feeling about today's lecture. The next time I'm going to meet with you, God's willing, will be next Thursday, the same time, 2 to 3. Ensure that you pay attention to the course page, because there will be something to engage you for the next 1 week. For those who have missed out from the 12, lock it at 11:59 p.m. today. So how you feel about today's lecture, let us know. And tell your parent that you are grateful to them for making it possible for you to be part of this show. Welcome to University of Ibadan. We wish you a successful time and enjoyable time, and wish you all the success you want to wish yourself in the course of your program here in the University of Ibadan.
When they start catching all of them, like I don't, their eyes will clear. For the David.
Finally, if you want to come, come in now.